And welcome back. We are in for more matches, this time coming up for Ape Squad and BBB. Do you have any thoughts on these two teams?
Ah, it only took one map for me to mute myself in VMix. Hello, everybody. Sorry. I was just saying how I think that the teams will do well at the video game. That was my response. It was very witty. You'll have to take my word for it. I was talking about Belize as well. BBB have Belize on their side, and this is a new entry to our tournament for Split 2. And look how far they've come. They've been almost flawless here. Went 3-0 yesterday in the first day of qualifiers, and crushed Mauser Belize, the players on that team. Watched a bit of their qualifying yesterday on stream. Mauser is a machine. Keep an eye out for this guy with the model 1887. He is terrifying, and we all know Belize. If you've watched his streams, he's a very, very talented player. I didn't see any Goose spaceships though. Bit disappointed about that.
Yeah, and I think you fairly hit it on the nail on the head with these players. I think getting to see Belize in a tournament like this is really fun and it's exciting. He's been in the top 50 of players, I think, first 2 seasons. I'm not sure where he is right now, but it's definitely somebody to keep your eye on. And I think that it makes it all the more exciting for Ape Squad, who, in my opinion, I don't really know these people yet, but they have shown themselves as being one of these top teams already. So going up against some of the top tier players, we're going to have to see if they're able to pull it off. And honestly, if Ape Squad can pull this off and come out with a win, I think that we're really in for something exciting.
Yeah, and those players on Ape Squad we're expecting to see today. Sonseo, Spoons, and Num was caught a little bit off guard there because Rippy is also on their roster list, but I believe he is possibly being subbed out for today. So we'll see who ends up in the lobby. It might be Rippy, it might not be. Either way, here is the ban phase for you right now, and we are going to see a bit of variety. Sis Horizon second up and Solar Decider, but Skyway Stadium once again the opener. Ape Squad's pick.
Yeah. And running in after that, Skyway Sis Horizon, always kind of, in my opinion, it's one that you should always pick. It's interesting because there is no map variation to it. So with all these other maps, Skyway Stadium, we have the high rise, which is in the center, up, down, left, right. A lot of variation. Same thing with Seoul. But in Sis Horizon, it's very much the same map every time. So
how have I never noticed that? What the hell?
Yeah.
I've played this so much and I've never noticed there's no modifiers on Sis Horizon. That's crazy.
Yeah. So if you're a team, it makes a lot of sense to pick that map because you know what you're going to get every time. Now, I think it's kind of fun to see different map variations and all different modes, but it does make sense from just a real strategic point of view that, like, hey, we want to have a good experience. We know what to expect, and I think it's cool to see that there is one map that doesn't have that. Now, I have heard through the grapevine that they are working on variations of that map, so we will hopefully see some Sis Horizon variation at some point, but for now, I think that it makes sense to pick it every time. And finally, the Decider map will be on Seoul, which is really kind of fun, in my opinion, because there's that verticality that you don't see in other maps. When you have that hospital area that's so high up in the air, you have a lot of places that just to aim down, get a lot of chip-off damage, get just things that you don't see in other maps. And usually it's why it's banned, because they have these really interesting cash-out stations that are like locked away inside the hospital that make it so hard to push in. I just think real interesting map picks, and we're not seeing Vegas, we're not seeing Monaco, probably two of my favorite just from the aesthetics and kind of what can happen, what can be done on them. So these 3 upcoming maps should be a lot of fun.
That's if we get 3. We just had a nice swift 2-0 from No Name, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, both these teams, I mean, we were paying respect to BBB earlier. We have to pay respect to Ape Squad as well. They've also gone flawless in day 1. And, someone has to lose here for the first time in the qualifier. But either way, both teams have secured themselves a top 3 finish. So maximum of 75 points, and I've got the numbers right now to hand this time around. 75 points for first, 60 for second, 45 for third, and 36 points is what NTHX have just managed to secure themselves with that unfortunate loss. So, I don't think it's... I think it's a little bit too early to make any predictions. We haven't seen these players, all of them at least, in action today, or at all. So There's only really one way to find out what's going to happen, and that's
Yeah.
to get in the game and see what happens in the server.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think that we're going to be, seeing some really good top tier players. I think that, we know the names of the BBB squad, but I think that if they've made it this far and they are 3-0, Ape Squad has a chance of us getting to know some of these players. So who knows? We might be seeing Nub might be a name that we, come to talk about a lot. And I don't know what their playstyle is. Like, I don't know if, like, in this last match, we did see a light player in there. Are we going to see just heavy, medium? Are we going to see some variation? Are we going to see the winch claw? Are we going to see charge and slam? Are we going to see, what are we going to see? There's just so many options to choose from now. And it's cool to see the meta kind of being defined here as well. So we're seeing top tier players and seeing what they choose. And it does have a ripple effect. We start seeing teams in casual play that start picking up some of these, team layouts. And I think that that's what's cool. We get to see all types of gameplay, all types of styles, and really see where the finals shines in that just kind of immense variability of everything and all the different factors here at play.
Yeah, and I can tell you a tiny bit about Mauser, Belize, and Cross team. They were running HMM yesterday. That's
Okay.
basically it. Belize on his sort of beloved SA. I've forgotten the string of numbers that comes after SA. Semi-automatic shotgun is what it is for the heavy, which he loves to rock. But yeah, Mauser was running basically what the chickpea loadout, I want to call it, jumping around with the 1887. And then Crust, I think, was backing up with an AK. So that's what I'm expecting to see from BBB. Ape Squad, no clue. If any of these guys stream, if you're in chat, let us know. Drop a comment and we'll go and follow you. It'd be really good to follow your route through not just this qualifier, but through the next one as well. So do, be vocal in the community. Make a name for yourself. That's what this is about. You got to break out.
Perfect way to put it. And I think that we're just waiting. Everybody should be in the lobby, so we will be able to hop into this map soon. And do you remember which one was the first map that they chose?
Skyway.
Skyway.
I'm writing stuff down now. I'm not going to forget team players' names and stuff like that. I'm getting better at this. Don't you worry.
Perfect. Yeah, so Skyway, I love Skyway. I think it was the first map that I played on and was really kind of got the idea of the game and how it was meant to be played. Do you want to talk a little bit about what your thoughts on Skyway and what we might see?
I can talk a little bit about Skyway if you really want me to. We didn't see any high rise last time round, did we? It was entirely standard Skyway, wasn't it? We didn't see moving up, down, left, right. We didn't see high rise. So I'd like to see a variation. I'd like to see that that RNG just hit us with a nice little surprise here. That's my wish for this next map. Good gameplay and a modifier. Fingers crossed. That's it.
Yeah. I think my favorite modifier is definitely high rise because it just puts the whole center of the map up in the up in the air, which I think is just such a cool way of envisioning a map and a map style because it just takes everything and just elevates it.
This is the point where I really wish I had like a comically large like a chair that just like when you raise it, it just goes up.
High rise.
And so I could high rise out of here and not have to cast.
Barber chair.
I want to stick around. Don't worry. Yeah. It's a good map, that.
And it is. It's a good one. And I think that we're just, waiting for them to get started. So as we just kind of wait.
I hear good noises.
Yep.
We can hear cool noises. Maybe you can hear that at home. I'm not too sure. The noises of a lobby starting.
Yes,
I love the
that
sound
we're
design
about
in
to
this
hop
game.
into.
Sound design in this game is just so satisfying. People bursting into coins, all the little clicks and beeps and boops and stuff, and the gun sounds. It's just next time you play, this is my little bit of granddadding here right now. As an old 29-year-old man who can't track people, who can't flick to people's heads and play, and is very sad that the CL40 got nerfed. Next time you go into game, just take a moment to appreciate every click you make, every shot you take, the sound design. All right, and I'm saying it's the granddad in me. It's actually the music person in me, really, that's saying all this stuff. But yeah, I just love a good sound. Here we are.
Okay, so it does look like we have two teams of medium, heavy. Not unexpected, but we are hopping into this with Ape Squad and BBB.
Here we go. So Sonsoyo. Actually, I didn't catch the names. I don't want to list the names until we see them. But BBB has definitely crossed Mauser and Belize. Ape Squad, some combination of Sonsoyo, Spoons, Rippy, and Number, with one of those watching on from the sidelines.
Yeah. So they do have a sub today, but we will see.
Like
as they
Rippy
start
is
to
in
push
Sonsoyo, and who's that? It's too blurry. I can't tell. Look like Spoons. It is Spoons.
Yeah,
there we go.
Spoons. Perfect. Okay.
So hello to Num if you're watching.
Yeah, and interesting that they're set up and they're getting a really long-range fighting already. Vault 1 is down below, so we do have high-rise happening here.
Yay!
So the middle of the map is raised. We see this first push onto the building top, rooftop, and they are just going down. It looks like Maus went down. Belize is half health. Crust is really low, just struggling to stay on there, but he is pushing in. Belize is just running into those teams, holding that shotgun, trying to push it off. We see the red barrel going down. Crust goes down as well. And it does look like, yeah, just Belize is left. And we see Sonyo and Spoons and his team just holding off. They have the vault open, and I think that since they got the enemy team down, we have a wipe, and they've got a few seconds to set up, and they should be able to get this started. I bet you they go B. I'm not sure. I can't really tell where the cash outs are yet, but I think B will be closer.
They're definitely not here, so they have to get away from here with that box. Looks like one is on the high rise potentially. Still can't tell. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one is on the high rise in this close building here, and then B. I don't think they're going to bother going all the way to B unless they really want to avoid this fight. It looks as though the engagement is going to come through from BBB. They're getting up on the building, taking these shots from range. That red canister doesn't quite meet its mark, unfortunately. It's also holding the dome for the moment. Finally lets it drop as the engagement comes. The jump pad across. And now, oh, he drops through the middle. Was that intentional? We will have to see.
I don't think so.
Rippy caught with his pants down there, and it looks like BBB have done this wonderfully. They only have the heavy of Sonsoyo to chase down. Surely just a matter of time.
Yeah, I don't think Sonyo will get away. He's running. He's still getting damaged. And there is a fight happening between the two of them. Sonyo's just running. I think he's just trying to buy out the time. One more second he has to do. Now Spoons can spawn back in. And Rippy as well. So he might have bought his team just enough time, but he knows that they're still going to be hunted. Interestingly enough, no vault has been entered into the cash out station. So they're just kind of holding off. And we're probably going to have to see a team wipe before anything gets started.
Yeah, BBB looking to try and make sure they secure that team wipe. Couldn't finish off Sonsoyo, and I did say his days were numbered, but looked like they weren't. So just waiting here now for that angled jump pad. Of course, really, right now, Ape Squad are in a little bit of an advantageous position, having these angled roofs to work with to be able to initiate onto BBB like this, which is why BBB are setting themselves back in cover. They don't have that option to jump forward quite as easily. Looks like he's going to take the long shot to try and get it into A, but he misses! That could cost them valuable seconds later on, but for the time being, we turn our attention to the fight. Actually, it looks as though no, one of the mediums is dropping down to try and deliver that care package, as it's just a Mexican standoff. No one wants to take this fight.
Yeah, it's interesting that they are splitting up. I don't know if that's what I would do, but they are making a run for cash out A. They are in the building over, so they're going to have to either blow up a wall or do something to get into the next building. And we see now Ape Squad kind of coming in. They're setting up on the roof right above them, and I think that they're going to be ready for when this cash goes into the Vault A. If I were BBB, I would just take the money and run, try and get to Vault B. But no, here we see the fight going down. And we see Ape, or I'm sorry, who's that? Ricky goes down. Sonya's holding off. They throw the dome shield, but they are just getting chipped away. Spoons has full health, so he might need to charge in there and kind of get the vault and steal it. He does go for the res, so we have the whole team up. Ricky going low. Sonya going low as well. Spoons doing everything he can. Gets a nice kill on Belize.
Wow, I'm surprised that Apes were the ones that came out on top in that engagement. But they have done, and we can finally get the cash out going. Or are they going to take it to B? Who knows? No, they're holding it. They're holding it for a moment, just looking to abuse the spawns. And there we go.
So if you don't know, by holding it right until they spawn, if they would have started it when they had spawned, before they had spawned, basically they would have spawned closer. So
now,
by holding it for just a couple seconds.
I swear that they patched that out like ages ago, but it didn't actually make as much of a difference as it should have. I think it still has an effect. So that's why people do it. You know, they wouldn't still do that if it did nothing. But it did. It used to be far more effective than it is now. And
wow, we see, I think a rocket just went off, and we see that BBB, they dropped it, and they might get the steal. Belize is just holding it, and he does get the steal. Amazing. And now they're forcing Ape Squad to push in.
Smart though, this gives them a position of power, and they are falling through this building. Of course, no DMAT or anything. They're relying solely on the RPG for this destruction. It's brought down yet another floor here, and they want to fight indoors. This is where they feel most comfortable, perhaps, with Belize on that heavy.
We do have low gravity going on.
Oh yeah, that means that the engagement to drop down is really exposing. So playing on the floor is actually a pretty nice play here.
The next team fight getting started. Lots of damage, yeah, and that's the fun thing about low gravity is it just shoots them up. I did see one person goes down. There's another one.
Just a sitting duck in midair when you like that. The heavy on 1 HP. He's got to play with his shield. He finally burst into coins, and it's only Rippy left alive. Looks like Belize is going to get the better of him. The jump pad sends him into outer space yet again. Belize is chasing him. And he wins the fight.
Combat. That was fun to watch, and I think that really BBB just did everything proper in this fight. Belize jumping in there immediately and getting that cash out steal before Ape was even able to do anything. And Ape was in a great position. They were on top of the roof. They had the right line of sight, but immediately the floor got blown up, and then they couldn't see. And it gave Belize just that perfect amount of time to steal it, and then they were able to set up and hold it. Amazing gameplay. I think Ape needs to kind of step it up just a little bit.
They do. Very delayed cash out as well. That was only the first cash out, and we're well into this match. The time it took, the delay before finding ourselves in there. We finally have a moment to take a look at the scoreboard and see that Soncio and Belize, the heavies, leading the charge with frags, but everyone contributing so far in this contest.
Yeah, you can see Rippy has 4 assists, so he's definitely been in there. I'm sure that he's been switching over more to Healing Beam, and you can see that he's got a nice support score. Crust has an amazing support score right now. Nearly 5,000 points, and it's still going up, so he's doing a lot. And if we can kind of get rid of the scoreboard, because it looks like there's another fight happening right now.
Yeah, the clue is the number is going up.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's having to heal. And it is just a bit of long range, tap firing. They're really keen to get these opening engagements at range. They don't want to engage until they've found an opening, until they've already committed someone to, switching to that heal beam for half a second to give them an advantage in the fight. But at the moment, both teams playing so passive that they're not giving anything away.
Yeah, it's almost like the first team to make a mistake at that point, because there is just such long damage.
Oh,
there it goes. Rippy goes down. A lot of fighting happening right here in this tiny little corner. And it looks like Belize and BBB is able to just kind of hold it off. Maserati holding it off really well with that shotgun.
Great team effort. I was glad we got to see that from Maserati's perspective, though. We finally get to see that 1887 in action. Are you familiar with the world of Rainbow Six Siege at all?
Very little.
Very faintly.
Feel free.
I know our observer and producer for the day, Stars, as he's dabbled in it. He's more than dabbled in it. He's played comp, but either way. This is a bit of a Rainbow Six Siege deep cut. The 1887 reminds me of the Sniper 90. If you ever played Siege back in the day, there was a Super 90 shotgun that could just chunk people from across the map. That's what it feels like with this gun sometimes. It does a lot of damage even at range.
Yeah, I swear every time I try and use the shotgun, I do terrible, but everybody
same.
that I go against that uses it is just able to absolutely delete me. So it is definitely a high-skill gun to use. We see Cash Out C getting started. It does look like BBB is the one to charge. We see Belize and Maserati and Crust just set up. They are right below the Cash Out, so if it does drop, they'll be right on top of it.
That is definitely an option. Got that APS full protection as per usual. Belize wants them to engage, of course, knowing as earlier that he's got this shotgun. He wants them at close range to really spam out the damage. They already take down one, and that's a big pick. Leaving only Rippy and I believe Spoons up here, so losing that heavy. You can maybe try and get this cheeky defib, but to be honest, with the quick cash timer, you might as well wait for the coin. Just re-engage here more safely, and that is what they opt to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's smart play, just running away. And on the other side of things, for BBB, I love what they're doing right now. They're doing this movement where you jump in between the windows, and it's not easy to do, but it looks so smooth and flawless from what they're doing. And it does allow them just kind of get that traversal up to where they need to be and in a safe location so they can jump in and out. And now we see the next fight going down. We see Sonio running in, Rippy, and they're on the roof. We see gas has gone off on the cash out station, which is going to make it so much harder for the steal to come in. Belize goes down. Crust is low health, but he's getting healed by Maserati. And they're just down to 2. I think it's a 2v2 right now. And there goes Belize coming back. A lot of fighting happening on these stairs.
Excellent high value medium play there from both Mouse and the other guy. Crust! There we go. He's the one. Why is he the one person I haven't written down? That's so bad of me. Crust and Mouse both contributing in brilliant form there. But he's going down early on. You really thought that wasn't going to be their round. But in fact, still at the end there, good enough to find themselves a 2-0 victory.
Yeah, that res coming in for BBB was perfectly timed because they were able to kind of get back and get the domination going. Yeah, so that's a first round for BBB. I am thoroughly impressed. I think Ape Squad had some amazing strategies going in there, but at the end, I think just going up against Belize, Crust, and Mouse, they're just some of the top tier players for a reason. Definitely made it hard, an uphill battle for Ape.
Yes, and even more so because of the fact that, well, they lost that essentially 2 cash outs to none, and that was their map pick. They chose Skyway, and now they're up against BBB's pick of Sis Horizon. Now, granted, small map pool, everyone should be proficient at all of these maps at this point, but when you've just been wiped completely on your own map choice, doesn't bode well. So, I'd say the odds are with BBB right now.
I have a good feeling as well. But we did see some great plays from Ape Squad. It seemed like they had it in the beginning because they did have the first cash out, and they were able to get it. There was that long-range team fight that was happening on the buildings before they even got into Vault A going and started. And I thought that they had the advantage there because they were able to get BBB down. But as we saw, BBB respawned and Belize just hopped in there. They were able to get it. And I think that where BBB is shining is their defense. They were able to really just play it smart, set up in a nice area, and then have the Ape Squad push in and just do everything that they can to just hold a nice tight defense.
Yeah, they were very clean, and they played to their strengths, right? They made sure that they got indoors, they got underneath, they really used that low gravity as well to their advantage, just allowing their opponents to hit those jump pads, knowing that they'd be pretty easy to just clay pigeon out the air, and playing on the ground as well, forcing the engagement towards them. Just excellent display of map control and situational awareness. And that quite often is what differentiates the very top players from the just below the top players. It's not the aim. Everyone's an absolute whiz with whatever it is they're holding. But this is an objective-based game and a very punishing one at that. If you make a misstep, then you can be out for certain, and teams can leverage that against you very, very nicely. That is what BBB have done today so far. We'll see how it works on Sis Horizon, which is up next.
Yeah. And before we switch over to that map, I think I want to point out I saw 2 moments in that last map that were probably my favorite things that I've seen so far today. We saw when Sonio was running away and trying to just make that distance, and he was being hunted down by Belize, and he was able to, buy just enough time for his teammates to coin in, and I thought that was just really smart and really cool gameplay. And then the second part was more just kind of entertaining when low gravity hit and the jump pads were going on, and we saw the team fight happening in midair. I think that was just cool to watch, cool to see, and you could see their health going down, and it really came close to see. I think it was heavy versus medium, and the heavy eventually got down, and just fun to see, just because they were literally up in the sky, top of their arch, in the jump, and just fun little variations on what's happening in this game.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. It's also somewhat reassuring to me as a lowly. I don't know. I haven't checked my rank in a long time. I haven't played rank this season. Take from that what you will. But either way, it's nice to see that these players that are amazing, they do mess up, and they are human. And a lot of the plays we're seeing are plays that you get to make in your games. It's all attainable. It's all doable just with enough practice. So yeah, it's reassuring at the very least to know they're human. But let's talk a little bit about Sis Horizon, shall we? Because it's a very different map from Skyway. We saw a lot of indoor play from Belize in particular, trying to make sure that SA worked to his advantage. A little bit harder to leverage that sort of loadout, I would say, in Sis Horizon, being a lot more open. Do you think we'll see him switch?
I think that we have. He does switch from time to time, but I think that this map also does lend itself to a shotgun gameplay because there is more wide
Okay.
open areas, but a lot of the cash outs are kind of in more concentrated areas. I can think of a couple that are a little more open, but I wonder if we'll see the shield or maybe the winch claw coming out because this might be a good map to get the winch claw, so that you're able to move the cash out, or just be able to see kind of grab a team, grab a member and pull them in and just utterly destroy them. So who knows? I think we just heard the map starting up, so we're going to be hopping into it in just a second, and it'll be interesting, like you said, to see if there's any variation on what we just saw.
Yeah, something that we won't see though, of course, as we mentioned earlier, is a map variation. We got high rise in that one, but we won't be seeing any map variation in Sister Horizon because there aren't any. So we'll see how it sort of maps itself out for us. Of course, like you say, the ability to kind of sculpt the environment as well will also play into the fact that you could build a situation from an unfavorable cash out that actually works for you. Particularly, this is one of my favorite tips at the moment. And you're going to get this one for free, guys, is that you can use a anti-grav cube and the hook to pull the objective a lot further than you would be able to usually. It just gives it a lot more momentum with that initial pull, instead of like dragging it along the floor. It works incredibly well to reposition that. And I can give a few points on this map that would really benefit a team running a shotgun.
Wow, yeah, great tip. I literally will try that probably later today.
That's $26.
But
I lied.
As we hop into it, we see the nice, pretty map of Sis Horizon, and both teams going for Vault 1. They are immediately going into a team fight, so they must have spawned really close to each other. And it does look like Maserati is running that shotgun. I think that Belize is still running the shotgun as well. So this is perfect, and we see them popping in and out, just getting chip away damage, but they are close. I think a mine or C4 just went off, and grabbing that red barrel for destruction. Sonyo is trying to run away. They might be conceding this first vault. No, they're coming up around for another engagement on the stairs. Sonyo doing great damage with his Lewis gun.
Yeah, but it's chip damage at range, and the problem is that BBB have positioned themselves so well as we have seen them do to fight around the corner. And the chips they get with their shotguns are more like chunks, right? They're like premium cookies, and we've got instead they're just being tickled at range by the monkeys of Ape Squad, and it's apples and oranges, really. You can't compare the two. It is consistent though what Ape Squad are doing, and obviously BBB, as they're forced around the map, will succumb to the sort of long range burst damage that focus fire can do to you, and tracking them through areas where they don't have that cover to play with. And maybe this is one of those moments where BBB need to get in that cover quite quickly. But no, looks like they want to re-engage.
Yeah, they kind of backed off.
They're stuck here.
Enough. Yeah, but they are in a good position if they get pushed. We see the RPG going off from Belize, and just kind of... Was that Belize? I couldn't tell. Anyway, the double heal beams going off, healing their team back up front. So Belize went out there and got a lot of chip damage done to him. And interestingly enough, the fighting is still pretty long ranged. No team has gotten anybody down yet, and if they have, they got immediately rezzed. So we see now Maserati running away and able to get that first cash out into the vault.
Yeah, they found that opening.
Yeah, it looks like they might be running towards B.
Seems that way, and they're taking a route that provides them with cover. Looks like Cross maybe intentionally dropped off after seeing the shots come his way. Ooh, but unfortunate there as they don't quite make it across, and that is going to be a real boon for Ape Squad in this upcoming teamfight. They're going to commit to this. The defib comes through, but Belize is surely up for it right now. There we go. He goes down, and very clean wipe coming out from Ape Squad as they clean house and reclaim the box, heading towards B.
Yeah, that was great. And I think earlier today you even mentioned that, like, when you're on that zip line, you are an open target, and that is exactly what we saw. They got a lot of damage done to them from Ape Squad as they were trying to just push and get away with the cash out of the vault.
This point really favors them as well. You have to actually question maybe even BBB's decision-making here. Obviously, they didn't have the benefit of a free cam at any point up till then to see that B was in such an awkward position. Maybe they should have had it in A instead. It would have been a lot more better for them to be indoors. But they are engaging quite well here as they jump on top of the whole of Ape Squad. Lots of damage coming out, and the burst is just too much for Ape Squad to handle. immediately taken out there. Great fight from BBB, clean as a whistle.
Yeah, that was really fast what happened. And Ape Squad had such a good position on them as well. I'm surprised that they couldn't hold it better because they had the high ground, and we saw BBB coming in and starting to push them, and it just, yeah, wasn't the greatest thing. But we do see BBB dropping the cash out. They threw down 2 gas barrels, so this will buy them a little bit more time for the push in from Ape Squad. Ape Squad is going to have to run. We see them throwing up a zip line. We see Sonya holding the RPGs, just ready to get that first shot off. But knowing BBB, they're going to have an APS turret ready to just counter that.
So I'm not too sure I agree with this play going in from above. Really, they've got to go in laterally and get these long angles, use the RPG to open up some sight lines, but they're not doing that. They're still looking to play vertically and get in there close and personal, which does favor the shotguns on BBB, but it looks like they've caught them out here by jumping in on top, engaging that way. A lot of burst damage from that RPG, but it looks like it will be followed up with a solid heal. Interesting animation there as we watch the heavy run across the zipline, tightrope walker. But Spoons has gone down. Rippy trying to stick that steal as Sansoyo provides cover, and they have got the wipe, so this will go through cleanly.
Okay. That was interesting. I did not think that would play out as well as it did. But it almost seems like they got a little caught off guard, BBB. And
they're back in.
Ape Squad, yeah. Still not enough time, and so this first one will go to Ape Squad.
Very strange. I don't think I caught every death on the side of BBB here. And, you know, this fight is next to meaningless right now, just to see who gets to the next vault first. So we'll let it play out. We'll see who gets their stats padded. It is Ape Squad looking like they come out on top once more. That's just, you know, asserting dominance at this point.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have done that if I was BBB. You know, reset, go away. Don't give him the extra points. Don't give him the kills. Don't, you know, do what you just did.
Don't, just stop it.
And I think it was a bit of like they were trying to re-show dominance. Like, yeah, we let you have that vault or the cash out, but we're better. And didn't play out. So Ape Squad will have open season on this new vault as they get it open and get it started.
Looking to take these lovely little high positions around the bookcases, around the floating walls. Very strange layout in this building. Obviously, you know, this is an unfinished piece of architecture and painted entirely green. I personally
love it.
I think it's a brilliant aesthetic, isn't it? It's such a cool design for the map. But yeah, you wouldn't. This is something like in Sims. You know, you're half done. Where are the snooker tables?
It's a great way of putting it. And you know, one thing that I love to do on that area is I actually put a zipline up really high, and I'm able to kind of, if the cash out is going on, I'm able to see above it because there is no roof on a lot of those walls. So you see fighting going down, and they're fighting again on this bridge area. One thing about those bridges is that they fall down really easily, and we do see just that. So now the fighting has gone from on the bridge to down on the ground.
Sansoyo is separated from his team there, and that will probably not matter as the two mediums able to maneuver all the way to the next point and try and stick it in. But it looks like they've lagged behind a little bit. They haven't gotten the distance that they hoped for with that Gambit, and now again he's separated from his team, and it's just picking them off one by one. Wow. What's going on, Ape Squad?
Yeah. Yeah, they're really out of position. They might have been trying to just kind of set up in a different way or find a way that they can, you know, storm onto BBB, but it's really weird choices going on so far. It will allow BBB to run over and get cash out C started.
Bit of a fight ensuing here as well as both teams finally finding each other. Sansoyo gets an easy pick there with his teammates onto Belize, and now it's just the two mediums on the side of BBB looking to try and close that gap. But it's not working for them. In fact, it is. They get the defib off and push deep inside and find 2 kills. Now they just need to chase up the stairs to secure the final one. And the rest of the team can just guard totems at this point. But it looks as though Spoons is heading for the hills. He chased down by the bunny Belize, though. He believes in himself. He's going to get this frag, and he does.
Oh,
that's the team wipe just before the coin as well.
And that's got to be terrifying. If you're on the other end of that, you just see a big, heavy bunny running towards you with a shield, and you know that you can't get that shield down in time, and you are separated from your 2 dead teammates. And yeah, intimidation tactics, BBB knows what they're doing.
It's time for an Easter egg hunt, sucker. Oh, it's terrifying.
And it does look like we'll get Cash Out C started. There is gas already popped. I don't know if it'll really have that much of an effect because by the time that Ape Squad gets there, it'll probably be gone. But I think that they're right now looking for more canisters that they can throw on it. Interestingly enough, nobody's really running mines, which in my opinion, I think is a great way to hold the defensive setup.
I'm surprised not to see glitch mines. Honestly, glitch mines on a totem just unbelievable tactic at this level. Like,
Yeah, and I love the
change.
change that they made this season, where they are line of sight instead of just kind of walking over them. I think
Yeah,
it just makes them so much more effective.
You get that pick, you
So-
lay down a glitch tome, or you put one on the cash out as well. Also, brilliant tactic. But either way, Elise has just been melted, so that might be a fight lost there. But he does get the defense.
Wow.
What incredible movement there from Mouse. How does he get away with it? Will secure the kill as well to follow up. But how are his team doing? All dead,
Ooh.
and now so is he. Very close to some stellar play and heroics from Maserati, but he didn't have the staff around him.
Yeah, he thought that he could get it with that res, and he almost had it for a moment. They definitely kind of switched over and had dominance, but they immediately deleted Blaze again because he only had half health after the res, and then just had to chase him down. But they are already back, and they have plenty of time to push into Cash Out C, and I think that we'll see one more good team fight before we decide who this goes to.
All right, last shot saloon here for BBB to try and secure this flawlessly. Ape Squad looking to gain their first cash out of the day. Otherwise, they will be... Oh, sorry, their second cash out of the day. Good engagement there from Maserati. Gets that early pick, and there is time to go through and secure this steal if they have the wherewithal for it. Still hunting for the last one. There is the heavy. Finally shows himself, and it's just a complete cluster mess on the site. But they do get the kills. Is that enough time? I don't think it is. And it looks as though Ape Squad have just about done enough to take Sis Horizon 2-0.
Okay, that was shocking. Ape Squad was able to kind of show us why they are in this upper winners bracket, because they definitely came out. They showed what they could do. That was pretty exciting to see, honestly. I thought that there were several moments that BBB just had it, just showing their dominance. But no, Ape Squad was able to kind of get the objective, and that's where it really matters.
It was close. It was down to the wire at the very end as well. Very great timing on that engagement from the last two players of Ape Squad. They were down. They were down a player. It was perhaps their strategy there. You do see that a lot of the time. Final 20 seconds or so, you split the party up, force the opponents to chase shadows. And it worked for them. Yeah. They lost that player to Maserati, found them in that distant position on the stairs, but they had no clue where the remaining two were. Maybe they were on the roof. We didn't even know. So great surprise there. Excellent play from Ape Squad. Again, controlling the map. And it did feel like those long-range engagements made a difference. Just a marginal difference on that map. At least not nearly as effective, it felt like, on that round.
Well, and one thing that I saw that was interesting is that more often than not, Belize was getting double healed by his teammates. So when you have that going on, you've only got one real damage happening, and I don't think it was really the smart move, because they lost those engagements that the double heals came out. I'm sure that it was in a moment of panic, like, oh no, we need to try and save him. But interesting that Ape Squad was able to kind of navigate that and go through. The one play that really stood out to me was at the very end, the last push for the cash, the vault, and everybody just kind of congregated on top of the cash out station, and we saw just literally chaos, like reses going down, teammates going down, and it was really cool just to see the infighting that was happening between these two teams, and just trying to do everything that they can. And BBB eventually didn't have time to steal it. If they would have maybe timed it a little bit better, they might have been able to. But it was cool to see.
It was, absolutely. And we now turn our attention to the final map of this matchup of the upper bracket final. And it's going to be Seoul, another map with lots of long-range engagements. And it could be that Ape Squad have played an absolute blinder in the ban phase here, knowing the strengths of Belize and Maus with those shotguns, and trying to work against them, allowing them, giving... Weird, though, that they would pick Skyway into them, but whatever. There's 3 maps left in the pool after the ban, so they know what's going to happen. And... yeah, it's worked out well for them. I feel like I am reducing it a little bit to this one point that I keep hammering on about. But, I'm looking at what we got in front of us. We've had two 2-0s, basically. BBB winning on the map that has lots of houses and indoor and close engagements. And then Ape Squad winning 2-0 on the map that has lots of long sightlines and long-range engagements. Yep. It's kind of just... yeah, it's the simplest possible analysis, but it rings true in my mind.
Well, and interestingly, both teams, the teams that won were the teams that didn't choose. So
exactly, and they picked the wrong maps against each other, which is really strange.
Yeah,
but
So it'll be exciting to see on this last one, especially with Soul. I think Soul just has that really unique kind of gameplay with it. With the two bridges, the one that is on the rooftop and then the sky bridge that kind of goes in between that can be taken down, because it creates kind of that funnel effect. Especially if you're able to use the crane and knock down the sky bridge area and just funnel everybody into this one area. So it'll be really dependent on where the cash out stations spawn. But I think overall, this will be a nice clash, and I do think that we might see a change from the shotgun on Belize, because this one has some of the biggest distances for it, and most of the cash outs are pretty open. So interesting to see what's going to be coming up as we wait for them to kind of load into this next map, the final map of this upper winners series.
It's entirely possible that we do see the switch up at this point, or maybe they just literally stick to their guns, stick to the game plan, and we'll have to see. It's the only, they will know better than us. That is almost always my my go-to, and the fact that I'm new here, absolutely. So interestingly, Ape, yes, they were the team that banned out Monaco, and BBB banned out Las Vegas. So that furthers my kind of theory. That's what I wanted to see with this map bound graphic thrown up back on screen. Thank you very much for that. But then they picked sort of backwards, weirdly in that way. But the point is that Ape Squad banned out Monaco, right? They banned out the closest quarters map of the bunch, and that just says to me that they know what they're up against. They're picking very smartly here. We'll see how Seoul plays out. Like you say, it's a very kind of unique map in the pool. I love it. I know some people hate it, but I think it's a fantastic map. Obviously, it plays out very differently at a competitive level than it does in my ranked and lower lobbies. But I feel like the vertical plays is a very attractive part of this map for me. Every single building has at least 3 or 4 floors. You've got the beautiful kind of slanted building in the far distance based on this little image here. You can slide all the way down and get long sight lines from. It's just great fun. It's a really fun map, especially the way that the buildings collapse and you get some really cool debris and mirror's edge moments, I like to call them.
Yeah, well, and I think one of my favorite variations is this one has the under construction, I believe, and that's the one that you can still see just a lot of more unfinished areas of the map, and I think that that's really interesting because it just lends to more unique gameplay and more spots that are open up, more ways to kind of go from building to building, and I just think that really, like you said, the high distance fights, I call it verticality, is just kind of what.
If we do end up with under construction, we'll find out in just a moment, then it's an interesting dynamic that it changes for both the teams and the way that the sort of long range, short range things will be playing out for them, because of course it gives you a massive advantage point if you've got these long range guns, but also it does give BBB a lot more routes to get around the map and avoid the fights that they want to avoid. So we will see. Based on this, let's see. Let's have a peek. Let's have a peek. Is it under construction? Don't know yet.
Can't tell.
We'll find out in a few seconds. No, it's not.
Yeah, it looks like standard. And I love the cranes on this map too, because the first time I realized that you could move the cranes, I was like a little kid. Like, oh my god, look at this.
It's a lot of fun.
The ball destroys stuff. Anyway, we see the first engagement going on, and they are a nice distance away as well. It does look like Sonya's still running this good. They're destroying all of the zip lines to make it harder, and we see Vault 1 being opened up.
Quick zip across the bridge as well to minimize the amount of time in the open here from BBB, but they are still getting lit up with no possibility of response. But they've managed to get themselves into a position where they can engage cleanly. A lot of damage taken there though by Cross, meaning that has to be healed up, topped back up. Should be okay though. And we see now, here is the engage right in close. That's exactly what BBB want, but Ape Squad are more than the match for it. They take down most of the opposition there. Who is left standing? That is the question. BBB on top, all 3 up, and they just have to finish off the final one who goes to that defib. It is futile. The emote from Crust. And even a little bit of crouch spamming, shall we call it.
That was great gameplay. I thought that Ape Squad had it because they had such a height advantage, and I think it was Sonya was doing just really good chip damage with that Lewis gun. That it looked like they might have had it, but I think that BBB just has the heels down, and now they're going to get set up. They're going to be able to hold this, and Ape Squad's got a little bit of an uphill battle. And there's the Skyway Bridge already taken down. So, like I was saying earlier, it does create this kind of funnel effect. You can't put a zip line up where it's been taken down, but it does make it where it's just a little bit, more inconvenient for.
And we cut to the weather forecast where it's a little cloudy in Seoul today. Just the one cloud though. No rain expected.
And Ape Squad is set up a pretty good distance away. They set up a jump pad. Are they going to miss?
Oh,
No.
they've used the goo!
What?
They jumped
That
on the
was
cloud!
You know, this is why these teams are the best. That is not something I would have even done or tried or considered. So
That cannot have been
amazing
planned.
to see. Yeah.
At least not pre-planned. Beautiful adaptation though. Oh, the flank coming out and Cross does land some damage, but it's not good enough. And now 3 up at the moment for BBB as they get the defibs off. Dome comes down, huge, baiting them into close range with the cover. Still has shield. Excellent fight coming through from Ape Squad, from BBB. Ape Squad looking to try and close it out, but it's just meaningless chip damage at this point. Jumps away, but he will get chased down. Down comes Belize.
Yep.
Oh, no one waits for him though. If he waits
is
just
running.
a split second longer, he would be safe, but surely he's out. There we go.
No team wipe though, because
No,
yeah,
that's
I'm
a
not seeing a team
coin.
wipe. No timer.
He's
So
coined.
Sonya was able to come back in. He's just charging in there, which probably isn't the best move, but given the time that's left on the cash out, I don't think that Ape Squad is going to be able to get in there and really do anything unless Sonya has some amazing strategy in mind.
He's got to hope and pray that no one's watching the cash out right now and he can get cheeky steal.
Yeah.
But down come Crust, down come Belize. Surely to deny him. There we go. Burst it down.
And he
no
was
chance.
trying.
He was trying.
Yeah.
It was the right play. It was the only play you could have made in that situation. They still have a medium lurking above them who will be able to take pot shots at them as they cross the green bridge. But he may have missed this opportunity here as BBB are very quick to scramble.
Yeah, and they're already on their way to cash out 2, Vault 2, and I think that it looks like Maserati is a little bit separated from his team, but it might be right behind him. So they will get that second vault open. And I think, there is a team wipe, so we missed something that happened. I think Ape Squad just went down with the remaining players from BBB.
Yeah,
So
probably
Vault
just
2
a
will
1
get
versus
started.
1 on that far side, probably.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Interesting barrel. I'm not sure that's what he was trying to do.
It's fine. He'll heal up. He's got time. And in fact, to be honest, he's just opening strategic angles, as we can see. A vertical spot above A. As BBB have more than enough time to just sort of craft this to their liking after that way.
Yeah, we see Belize loving those barrels. Destruction for no real reason, maybe just having fun blowing up the side of a building.
Hey, more debris favors him, you know. Shotguns, you gotta
Yeah,
keep
absolutely. And we see him just holding that RPG, just waiting for them to get pushed. But he does get a little bit out of position and is forcing his teams to kind of come up behind him. Maserati does have path to the vault, just trying to hold on to it. It spoons
Oh,
down. Oh,
wow.
another kill with Rippy. And finally, there goes Sonya. So,
Okay, so
Mal's doing some damage.
I was worried about the long-range engagements, but they got it covered. Don't listen to me. They can win those fights all day long, apparently. Doesn't matter. Sniper 90.
Yeah.
That's a callback, ladies and gents, in case you were watching earlier. We'll just, that's for the stick-arounders, we'll call it. Anyway.
Cash out is getting started.
A in progress, like you say. And, a horrible spawn. An absolutely horrible spawn for Ape Squad. They've got to come all the way across this this gangway. They're going to be perfectly visible from the high ground as well for most of this. But a lot of time's going to tick down, and I would say this gives them maybe 2 fights.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be, they're going to have to really push in, but they are just going to get chip damaged away. And
Not bad, not bad.
yeah,
They've got in with
that
a
mesh shield's
decent
really
amount.
doing a lot of damage, or pulling a lot of weight there, I should say.
Yeah, it's reverse damage, we'll call it. Taking the damage, tanking it. And opening up their route to the site, and here, Spoon's looking to make a play here while this team go in underneath. No, maybe it's just a bait. They look to zip themselves up right to the top. Where are BBB, though? That is the question on our minds. They are waiting up top. They're not ready for it, though. They weren't watching, didn't spot the zip as it came up, and they get that early chunk of damage in. Belize now separated from his 2 mediums, but they get the frags that they need. Oh, bit of a misstep there from Rippy as he finds himself now on the lower end of things, and BBB very comfortable now to wait this out. In fact, Rippy, if you want a call right now, you've got to jump off. Or maybe just wait the team out. I always forget this is quick cash rules. You know, they could maybe get in here with enough time left.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a chance. I think that they have one good push, but they need to be on it basically now. and it is just time is just ticking away. We see the gas going down, so they broke a barrel, and we see that one of them is trying to steal. Looks like Rippy tried to go for it. He goes down, and finally we're left with Spoons. I don't think he's going to be able to do this for his team, and I think this is going to go the way of BBB.
Crust with a massive pair of kills from the top rope there on both mediums, utterly annihilating Ape Squad, and BBB do it in 3. 2-0, 0-2, and 2-0. Once again, another flawless map for them. They would advance to the upper bracket finals, where they get to face No Name, who have made a name for themselves, we have to say.
Yeah, that was impressive. I really kind of got to see a lot from BBB. They were able to hold every engagement that they got to. They stopped the steal from Ape Squad several times, and some of these players like Belize and Mauser was doing great with that shotgun, and it was just really a sight to see. I wish that I had that kind of aim and that kind of coordination with that shotgun there. But real top tier plays. I think that they played it well. There were some good spawns on Soul, and both teams played well. So I don't think this is the end of Ape Squad. I think that they still have a lot ahead of them, and but they definitely went up against a really tough competitor with BBB.
Absolutely, and so we will be bringing you 2 more games tonight. We have the losers final, which will be between NTHX and Ape Squad, and then in the grand final we'll have BBB up against No Name. I do believe it will be the losers final first. That would make the most sense, right? I don't run things around here. I'm going to assume that that's the way around it goes. I know it was posted somewhere earlier. I'm just lazy.
Yeah.
We've got the thumbs up. It is correct. I know my stuff apparently. We'll pretend that was planned.
Cool. Yep. And so stay tuned, because we do have the lower final coming up, and more matches coming ahead. We're going to go to a quick break.